Hello and welcome to Campus to Community, the Columbia Basin College news magazine, to keep you informed of what's happening at CBC and how we might better serve you. Today, we're going to be talking about the magnificent new Center for Career and Technical Education at CBC, just dedicated last month, and students now in that facility. We'll be hearing from the dean from that area, Derek Brandis. He'll be talking about the programs currently in it and future programs for the center. Then we'll hear what it took to come from scratch to where we are now from our Senior Vice President, Bill Saraceno, and finally from one of the people actually in their training, Robert Garcia, a CBC automotive student. But first, let's turn our attention to Derek Brandis. And Derek, welcome to Campus to Community.
Thank you.
Derek, as far as programs go in the new center, in what ways will this improve programs for the new facility for students?
This is going to dramatically improve the learning environment for students. Our existing facility was cramped, dark, dingy, didn't have a lot of elements, safety, security, kinds of things. It was the oldest building on our campus, and so now we're moving into a facility where we have more usable space. It's a brighter environment for students to learn in, and we're very excited.
Yeah, absolutely. What programs are currently in the new Career and Technical Center?
We're moving in all of our existing programs, such as automotive, welding, manufacturing technology, nuclear technology. But in addition, this new building gives us the opportunity to expand in areas such as sustainable energy.
Mm-hmm. And so what is the future for workforce programs in our country?
I think it's very, very bright if you consider that most of the people in these professions are approaching retirement, and then also a lot of emerging careers that we don't even know of yet, but we do know that they require a high level of skills.
And which programs are the students going in?
Well, right now all of our programs are full or close to full, and that's kind of a testament to people seeing the demand and need for these occupations.
Are they going into more of the higher paying professions?
We're trying to expand into the programs that are high wage, high skill, high demand. And for example, nuclear technology is one where students are coming out with a starting salary of $80,000 or more. So the more we can do those types of programs really benefits the economy of our community.
Now, will the new center be able to house more students?
Yeah, that's a great question, Frank, because yes, it does, but I have to explain that we also face a problem from the operating side of our state budget. While we had the money to do the capital and build the facility, we're constrained by being able to hire more faculty or be able to pay for more programs out of the state budget. And so right now, if we expand, we need to do it as a self-support program, meaning that the students are paying for the bulk of the cost of that education.
Or private partnerships.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Well, what do you see as far as workforce being necessary for jobs in the future?
I think it's very, very necessary. I don't think a person can go through their daily life without being impacted by somebody in these trade areas, occupational areas. And if we have a shortage of workers or a shortage of people going into these professions, our lifestyle that we're comfortable with and the costs that we're willing to pay, those things are going to be diminished if we don't address the shortages, I think, that are coming in these professions.
Good point. Derek, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
We'll be back to talk with Bill Saraceno of how this project got from the beginning to where it is today in its completion, right after this.
An Associate of Arts and Science degree from Columbia Basin College is a great foundation for students who wish to major in English, education, the arts, or communications. Today's employers seek applicants within these fields because they have good reasoning skills, they're adaptable, and can write and communicate effectively. So no matter where you go from here, you'll have the tools you need to succeed.
Welcome back. We're joined now by the Senior Vice President for Administrative Services at Columbia Basin College, Bill Saraceno. Bill, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Frank.
Let's take it back from the beginning here. And how did the Center for Career and Technical Education come about? How did it get off the ground?
It's a good question. Basically, what started this whole thing was our master facility planning, which we involve people from the community and students and staff and faculty through surveys and interviews. And it drove out as the highest need on our campus. As you heard from Derek, it was a pretty dungy old building. It's the oldest building on campus. It was originally designed back in the 50s as a bus barn and as part of the naval the Naval Air Station that was here, and that was what originally drove that entire project for us. And we started the process. It's been about a 4-year process for us, about 2 years worth of input from faculty and staff and students, and then the last almost 2 years is now being spent constructing the building.
And the cost again was how much?
Actually, the cost was a little bit less than what we anticipated. We were actually funded at about $22 million, and because of the state's economy, they took $1 million of that funding away from us. So the building, all lock, stock, and barrel, was probably pretty close to $21 million. The actual construction cost in the building was about $17 million.
What are some of the more interesting features about the Center for Career and Technical Education?
You know, it's a great facility from top to bottom. It was specifically designed to be an open facility. In other words, in 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 years, if a program changes or go away, the building has got enough flexibility in it to literally do just about any technical type program that we now know that's in existence, or it could become something new. So it's a tremendously flexible building.
So now, generally when you get money for a replacement building, you tear down the old building, but that's not happening here. Why?
Well, a couple of things happened. As I mentioned earlier, the state took $1 million plus away from the project. That cost us putting equipment in the building. Much of the equipment we wanted to put in that new building, we wanted all new equipment to go with the students. And secondly, it took away the money to tear down the old vocational building, so it'll stand for a while yet.
Okay, so, but maintenance and so forth is going to be covered?
Well, we're hoping it's in this budget request right now before the legislature to fund the money that it'll take to heat and cool and maintain that building now for the rest of its useful life.
Now, it seems like CBC has been dedicating a building almost once a year for the last 10 years. What's the future construction situation for facilities at CBC?
Actually, that's pretty dim right now. We had one project on the boards that was approved for funding, was taken off the boards last biennium, probably won't get funded again this biennium. The last two major projects for our master facility plan are our new social science foreign language building and our performing arts building. So it may be 5, 6, 7 years before we're able to get those facilities on the board and get them under construction.
Just to get them on the board 5 or 6 years,
Yes.
not to get them finished.
Right, exactly.
Okay, well, thanks for being with us, Bill.
Thanks, Frank.
It's a great facility. I know the dedication meant a lot to you last month.
It did. It did. It was a wonderful time. A lot of people showed up. I think they really enjoyed all the features of the building from the safe and security standpoint. You know, we've got features in there when doors open up in the bays that's hard to air condition and heat them. The systems automatically shut off until they close the doors again. So it's a LEED's Gold. We didn't think we'd get there. We were just a couple points off of Platinum, which is basically a great environmentally sound, safe building to be in, built with recycled materials, and is very energy efficient.
Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, we'll be back to talk with one of the students who's actually using the new facility right after this. Welcome back. We're talking about the brand new Center for Career and Technical Education at the Columbia Basin College Pasco campus. And with us now is Robert Garcia, automotive student at CBC in his final year there. And Robert, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Frank.
First of all, what's the changeover been like for you coming over from the old building to the new?
It's been a real treat. A lot more room. It's a lot easier to keep focused because you don't have two classrooms divided by a piece of paper. There's a lot, like I say, there's a lot more room in the shop. You have 25 to 23 students trying to pull cars in all at the same time, and there wasn't enough room. And now there's plenty of room to play, and we got a nice rebuild area, and everybody fits in there perfect.
And let's talk a little bit about the CBC automotive program. What was your decision like when you decided to go into automotive? Why?
Well, automotive is an industry that's been around for a long time and it's not going anywhere. A friend of mine told me about the program. I did my research and I seen the change in his life and the opportunities and stuff that opened up for him, and I wanted to take a chance.
Now, this is not a program you just enter into fall, winter, spring, or summer. I mean, you have to start from the beginning. You actually have to apply to get into the automotive program, don't you?
That is correct. There's an application that goes through advisors. There's a review committee of the application, and then once you're accepted, you start in the fall, and that's the only time. If a student fails, they got to come back the next fall to continue their program.
Now, it's more than just about the technical aspects of repairing vehicles, though, isn't it? I mean, we're talking about some other classes in communications and math that you have to take.
Yes, there's English classes, math classes, communication class, get you ready to go out into the workforce and work with the public, a lot of speech classes.
Mm-hmm. And you and your classmates in automotive technology get involved in a lot of different charity work, everything from raising money through selling donuts for your national conference all the way to helping put somebody's car back together. What's that like?
It's a real blessing to be able to give back to the community that supports us as students and people coming back into the workforce. To be able to help a family in need or help another student in need, it's a real gift.
So what's next for Robert Garcia after completing your work this June at Columbia Basin College?
Well, rumor has it I can go back to my internship as soon as I get my diploma. So that's one route. Another route, I'll probably just try to get in somewhere and get some experience under my belt.
And that's one thing we didn't talk about, but the entire program also includes an internship between the first and second year at not at CBC, but in an actual professional place of employment.
That is correct. In a real shop environment, getting to know people in the community, future employers, other technicians. So it's a real treat to be able to go out and expand.
Well, Robert, we wish you the best of luck, and we're glad you've been one of the great CBC students.
Thank you, Frank.
And that does it for this edition of Campus to Community. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for being here on this beautiful Thursday morning as we celebrate a really historic moment at Columbia Basin College. We're dedicating the Center for Career and Technical Education this morning, as you know, and this is just a phenomenal building that's going to create some phenomenal capacity for the college to serve this community, to develop its workforce, and to give our citizens opportunities to get relevant skills so that they can move into wonderful careers to support themselves and their families. We don't get to do this too often, to open a building like this, and given the budget situation in the state, we're not going to get the opportunity for a while. So this is a great day. I'd like to make 3 points, and then I'd like to introduce the 3 guest speakers who will make some points. Then after that, we'll have some building tours, and I hope you'll be able to hang around for those. I'm not going to talk much about the building because, or the specifics of it, because that's what the tour is for. The first point I'd like to make is that we'll be moving by the end of the spring quarter all of our current workforce programs into this building. So we'll have automotive technology, welding technology, machining technology, nuclear technology. We'll have some fabrication and some solar efforts and different kinds of energy things that'll happen in here. And that's absolutely wonderful. But the building was really built for a century. This is a building that has to support this community for a long period of time. Here's a list of jobs we don't even know about that a fellow by the name of Dan Rasmus has brainstormed. Maybe in the near future, or not so too distant future, we'll have programs in here like biotech distribution, entertainment holography, hydrogen fuel station technology, genetic screening, quarantine enforcement, data archaeology, environmental stewardship technology, space tour guide management, choice architecture, digital acting technology, custom pharmacy technology, drowned city technology. The point is that there's all kinds of jobs out there that have not yet been created, and our economy is so dynamic with disruptive technologies that we really don't know what the future is going to be 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 years down the road, but this building is going to be here to serve those needs. The second point I'd like to make is that right now, 63% of the workforce requires an education of some sort beyond the high school diploma. Now that may be a few classes, it may be a certificate from a community college or a community college degree, might be a PhD, some form. Of that 63%, it's estimated that about 45 to 48% are middle skills jobs. And those are the jobs that the community college serves with 2-year or less training. That's what this building is here for, to help with the middle skills. Obviously, the American economy and the local economy would sputter if we didn't have the kinds of individuals who are being trained in these programs. Finally, I'd like to say that CBC, we think of CBC as an engine for social mobility and economic development, and this building is a testament to our conviction around that mission and our hope for developing the future. So our first speaker I'd like to introduce, Dom Sansota, is currently the Workforce Resources Manager for Washington River Protection Solution. Dom is an expert in human resources in the Hanford area, and he's previously served in HR functions for DOE as well as other Hanford contractors. Dom is currently the Vice Chairman of our CBC Foundation Board. Dom and WRPS have been strong supporters of our nuclear technology program. Dom Sansota.
Well, thank you for that. Boy, I'm very excited to be here, and I hope you are too. Because what we have this morning to share is really a celebration of dreams. You know, the dreams that led to essentially this wonderful facility, but also student dreams for fulfilling careers, much like what Rich was talking about, and rewarding futures, which will take major steps toward becoming reality right here behind these doors. So to me, I'm very excited. This center will house many programs, but one that is especially important to me and my company, Washington River Protection Solutions, is the Nuclear Technology Program. As well as with other Hanford contractors and Energy Northwest, we believe that this program is going to be critical for the future of the Hanford site and the Hanford community. So we're excited that they have a place they can call home now. This program will also graduate from it, will make important contributions towards achieving key missions at Hanford and in the commercial nuclear industry. You know, at a time when our workforce is aging, many of us are nearing retirement, although I may not look it, I'm getting there too. But the opportunities are increasing for people with specialized skills in all aspects of nuclear facility operations. Now, at my company, we've already hired a number of the students from the program, as well as fund a number of scholarships and internships. So we're quite involved in the program, and we're very excited about what it provides us. But I don't want to dwell just on the nuclear technology program, because whether it be a student in nuclear, automotive, manufacturing, welding, or sustainable energy technology, this building represents an investment in equipping them for a productive future. So we believe it's an investment worth making. You know, but a building without faculty, without equipment, and without the support systems, well, it's not a full investment. And so that's why WRPS and many others from the private sector have and are contributing private dollars to help fund the nuclear technology program as well as other programs. So Rich mentioned, and it's no secret to anybody, the problems we're having with funding at both the federal and the state level for education programs. It's declining. And so I'm challenging everyone out there. You know, private sector support to maintain quality higher education opportunities, especially in technical fields like science and engineering, is critical. So whether you're a big business or whether you're a small business or whether you're private citizens, we can all make a difference in making sure that quality education takes place right here at CBC. I believe it's an investment that makes good business sense while serving our community. So I had the opportunity a couple of weeks ago. Derek Brandis took me through the facility, and I was very much impressed and very enthusiastic about what this center provides. And I'm just going to dwell for a moment on one individual who's here, who Derek and I both believe has been very instrumental in supporting the nuclear technology program. Lloyd Keith over there, he's the training manager for Washington River Protection Solutions. And he volunteers a lot of his own time, his experience and capabilities as an adjunct instructor for the program, as well as oversees those who get scholarships from WRPS for the program. And Derek and I were thinking of him when we walked through the facility because Lloyd's got a big outbuilding. He loves to work on cars, and I've not seen his place, but I can only imagine what it's like. And Derek's comment was, Lloyd would be very jealous about this facility. So Lloyd, this place had you in mind. But anyway, it is exciting to see and be a part of this growth and this investment in our community's future and development of tomorrow's workforce. So again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dom. It's impossible to overstate the importance of the employer picture in the success of a community college. What we do, ultimately, every level of education, is help train people for work. And to have employers in our community who are willing to become involved with us financially and through other kinds of resource development, it's just incalculable the value that is added to the next person who's going to speak, because all of our efforts are pointed toward this person. And this person, Robert Brewer, is one of our students. Like many of our non-traditional students, Robert Brewer has come to CBC to learn additional skills and to launch a new career. Robert currently works full-time while attending our manufacturing technology program. When faculty students were asked who the main speaker at this dedication ceremony should be, the overwhelming choice was Robert. He is clearly an inspiration to other students. Please welcome Robert Brewer.
Good morning. Thank you. Speaking as a student, I'm very appreciative of the opportunity to be a part of this dedication of this ceremony. It is a great honor and a privilege for us as students to be able to further our education in a facility such as this. In my first year at CBC, I have met and had the privilege of working with some of the most dedicated individuals, students and faculty alike. We all share a common goal as students to learn and hone our skills both as individuals and team members, enabling us to make our way into tomorrow's workforce. This new facility will help our instructors to provide us with the necessary tools we need to succeed wherever life takes us. For that, as students, we are grateful. For me personally, when I decided to further my education, CBC was like coming home. I can think of nowhere better to further my education. The staff and students here are second to none. Being a former business owner, I know firsthand some of the challenges employers face finding competent and well-trained employees. This new education center will aid CBC in its mission to prepare tomorrow's workforce to meet the challenges ahead, and will also provide an environment which is very conducive to our individual educational goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. You know, none of this can happen without good governance and strong leadership. And our next speaker is the chair of the Board of Trustees of Columbia Basin College. Renee Fink is a CBC alum. She was in school here, earned her associate's degree, and then moved on to Central Washington University to complete her undergraduate business degree, and then to Eastern Washington University to finish a Master of Business Administration. She's a very strong supporter of this building and of the college, and I'd like you to welcome Renee Fink.
Thank you. CBC is developing community partnerships which are needed more than ever in the current economy. CBC has a rich history in technical education and the professional partnerships developed from it. Our welding program has been responsible for providing skilled welders for Hanford and the region as a whole for more than 50 years. Keys to that have been Gary Colbert and his dad Buzz, who began a legacy with the CBC welding program from the beginning of the college in 1955. In the 1970s, the CBC welding department ran welding classes 24/7 to provide a skilled workforce at Hanford. Gary served CBC as a welding instructor, a dean, and a member of the CBC Board of Trustees. He was employed by CBC for 36 years and is currently on the CBC Foundation Board. Gary was the CBC Alumnus of the Year in 2008. He has been an integral part of CBC partnerships and became friends with many of those in the industry. In 2008, as a direct result of Gary's friendships and professional relationship, the Buck and Jesse Poteet estate left $840,000 to the CBC Foundation for scholarships. Even in retirement, Gary Colbert has continued to be a most effective outreach person for CBC. I asked a high school classmate of mine and a former student of Gary's what his thoughts were. His first comment, Gary is a great gentleman. Secondly, he said, he taught me and many others a life skill, and that skill has afforded my family and me a comfortable living. What an opportunity to have that kind of impact on people's lives in this community. It's a result of Gary's selfless commitment to education and the craft he and his dad loved and excelled in for 55 years. Ladies and gentlemen, it is truly my privilege to announce the unveiling of the Gary Colbert plaque and the Buzz Colbert bench that will watch over this magnificent center for career and technical education for years to come.